Here to start our Christmas dinner, which we'll be doing tomorrow. But obviously, we've got some, what's that?
Mise en place, chef.
Medium bread. Can't say that word.
Who's the assistant? You can tell already, so we're all right.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks. So obviously, we've got a bit of prep work the night before, as you all know, and it's mainly cooking the turkey. So I'm going to hand it over to Christopher with his turkey while I do a bit of prep of my veg.
Right, getting ready for the gravy. Right, so first things first, we need to get the turkey weighed so we know how long to cook for. So glove up. It's about a 30-pound turkey, so that's about 14-15 kilograms. Now, this is going to be dead simple. I'm going to get it on, make sure it's on kilograms. I'm going to weigh it now, and then tomorrow, when we've cooked it and rested it a bit, we're going to weigh it after cooking. So we're on 14 kilograms. So what that actually means, if you're going to cook this in a standard gas oven, for the first 4 kilograms, you're looking at about 40 minutes cook time straight away. The additional 10 kilograms need to give 45 minutes per kilogram. So you can imagine having that in a gas oven. You've got one temperature, you've not got any moisture. So the outside of the turkey is going to be cooked, it's going to be incinerated really before the inside of the turkey is cooked to a nice temperature. So I need to take the elastic off.
Make sure you get it all.
Get it all, don't want to be cooking any of that, chef. And second most importantly, if your butcher is good to you, like he is to us, he'll have all your giblets in a bag, which is important to take out this time, isn't it, Will?
Well, okay, one incident, Chris. One incident.
So we've got our giblets, we're going to use this for the gravy, so I'll give that to you, Will. Ready for the tray. And now, I'm going to load my cooking tray for the turkey. I'm going to go in about there. Now, the important thing is, with the turkey, I'm not having to put it in a tray, there's no foil involved, it goes straight on the cooking rack. And for our gravy, we're going to have a tray underneath with our mirepoix ready for our gravy and our giblets, collecting all the cooking juices that come off the turkey for the gravy. So, for turkey, we want to get it all dressed and get butter all into it. I've never done this on camera before, because it's quite an interesting scenario. There. Want to get right into all the creases and the crevices so we get nice crispy skin. I think it would look better if we did this at the same time, Will.
Oh, I think you're doing a good job there, Chris. You're getting right in there, all the creases, the crevices. Oh, come on. Got them legs nice and buttered down. So we're using a whole block of butter, obviously, to try and keep this nice and based. Now, another thing that most chefs usually use whenever we're doing a Christmas dinner or at home is we usually cover the turkey in tin foil. Like Chris said, it's a long cooking time, so you tin foil it so it doesn't burn. We're going to put it in this Rational with no tin foil. Yeah. So we're hoping that we're going to get a nice crispy skin on the outside and a nice juicy bird.
Yeah, another thing that's important to mention is, talking from experience, cooking in old style kitchens before, you're running a full gas extraction system, you're running a gas cooker, you've got your night porter if you're working in a hotel, checking the turkey, basting the turkey, you've got to baste it regularly or use moisture. Literally, this is going to be in the oven in, I reckon, the next 5 minutes. You don't need to touch it. You just need to open the door in the morning and we're going to be good to go. So I'm going to season this up quite liberally. Are you good to go?
I'm good to go. I've got my neck, I've got my heart, liver, kidneys.
Kidneys.
See, now usually at home, once we've cooked all this, I usually give this to the dog. What do you usually just chuck them out, eh?
My missus is quite squeamish, so we're not actually allowed to use the giblets in my house. No.
Does make the best gravy.
Yeah.
Well, it's usually only like the heart. Obviously, you can't give the neck to the dog.
I'm just going to give my hands a quick wash.
Give them a good wash. So, then is that going on top of the...
If you could get the roasting tray under the rack for the turkey.
So I'm going to put this underneath to catch all our nice turkey juices. So then we have a nice gravy base up there. Once Chris is finished washing his hands.
That's right, I'm going to do the awkward bit now, guys.
But you're all right. We'll get the strongman lifted in.
As long as we all know our place.
Yeah, okay, Chris.
Then we're all right.
Okay. Now, usually, when you're in a restaurant, I've cooked for about 500 for a Christmas, well, not a Christmas dinner, but a roast dinner before. So you usually fill that all the way to the top. Have you ever done that?
I've done big functions before, and generally because cooking turkey this size is such a pain, it's really hard to do, it's really hard to get right for customers. When you've got that much, you want everything to be spot on. Generally what I've seen happen is you'll pre-cook the turkey, carve it, roll it up with your stuffing in parcels, because you're kind of forced to, because that's the only way you can get a good product. But if you have a rationale like this, chefs finish up service, prep the turkey, takes 5 minutes, and you put it in the oven. Tomorrow we're going to be resting it up. Only because we've got one cabinet, really, you can go straight from the cabinet to carve. You don't need to rest it because it's held the turkey at the correct temperature. It's ready to carve. Well,
let's get this bird in.
All right, let's go.
You're right there.
I'm trying to be. We're good.
We're good.
It's big. We are almost good to go. I also want to overhang him.
So this was, what was it, 14 kilograms, about 31.5 pounds bird?
14 kilograms, yeah, 30 pounds from a local butcher. That's good to go. And now I take my temperature probe. This is an important bit. Are you getting in here?
I'm on this side, Chris.
Now we want to get a good temperature reading, so we want to go into the thickest part of the meat. This is the thickest parts in the breast. There's 6 sensors on this probe, from the tip all the way down the shaft. So we're going to go straight into the thick bit and try and get a feel and feel it up the breast. And we're sitting nice in the middle of the thickest part of the meat so we can get an accurate reading for the temperature. Now literally that's all the hard work done. So we're going to close the door. Hit the turkey symbol on the rationale. Overnight roasting. These two gold settings, this is Rationale's pre-settings, this is Rationale recommendations. Now, you could go a bit lower if you wanted to, but Rationale recommend you start cooking on 72. Let's get back to that. And this is your searing setting, but we're going to stick with Rationale's recommended settings. So roast at 170, sear at 170, cool the cabinet, mature, and then it'll hold our temperature until we come back in the morning.
Now, usually, normal chefs don't usually cook to 72, but because we're doing this long cooking process, it's, what was the word used?
We're looking at pasteurization.
Pasteurization.
So,
there we go, so we've just activated it.
And now if we look at the cycles, that's the first cycle, so it's going to roast the bird, sear the bird, sear the meat, cool the cabinet, and then mature the bird. All the way through. Tomorrow when we go live, 10:30, we're going to take that out and it's going to be perfect. No hassle, no waste, no mess. Rock and roll.
Well, I think
we just about managed.
We just so.
I think we're okay.
Well, we're glad that the bird fit in the oven because that was quite a big turkey. So we will see you all tomorrow at 10:30. We will be kicking off our live stream. So 10:30 o'clock tomorrow, we will be pulling this bird out.
And attempting to cook Christmas dinner together, I think.
Yeah. How many people are we cooking for?
I don't know, about 2, I think.
2 people?
Me and you.
Me and you?
Yeah, chefs like that. Got an office of about 40, 50 people to feed.
So you're taking the left side of the turkey, I'm taking the right?
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think
it's not enough, is it? We need to put another bird in.
We'll be alright.
Okay.
We'll be alright.
Right, we'll catch you all tomorrow. See you all tomorrow at 10:30.
See you tomorrow.
Bye now. Hi, welcome back to our CaterKwik live stream, and we're here with our Christmas dinner live stream of our own CaterKwik menu. Yeah. I'm Will Patrick, and this is Chris Noble, and we are the CaterKwik chefs. We'll try to be, yeah. And also we are joined today by our Rational chef. Did I say that right? Rational, whatever. Tom, I don't know your last name. I'm not trying to say that.
Close enough, gentlemen.
Maybe it's on the jacket, I just want to point that out as well.
Oh, I can't read, I can't read.
Labelled.
Hey, have you not learnt this yet, Chris? I can't read. So anyways, we're going to obviously have a look at our turkey here. Unfortunately, we did have a bit of technical issues last night, but there's no issues. If you want to come have a look at our turkey, come here, cameraman. Come on. That's it. Come on. If you have a look, it still looks a bit pale, so we wanted a bit of colorization. So all we're going to do is put it on colorization. We're just going to put it on the light option because we did baste it. And so it's saying it's going to just take about 12 minutes to put a bit of color on there. So it's an easy option. Obviously, if we want it darker, we can add a bit more. Obviously, it's going to add a bit more time. So while that's getting a nice golden color, do we want to talk about what we're actually cooking today?
Yeah, we should introduce the menu. We kind of wanted to go basic, sort of stuff you'd find in a hotel. I've worked in a lot of hotels over the years, and you always kind of find the same bits and bobs on all the menus. So we're going to start with a nice warm soup, a nice spiced squash soup, something to kind of warm you up. It's winter, you're cold, you want a nice hot bowl of soup, something spicy to kind of warm your cockles. And then something else that's everywhere I go is garlic mushrooms, toasted brioche. It's like hotel staple. Been on every menu that I've ever rocked and rolled on a Christmas menu. So I'm going to get them both firing up in the Vario. Will's going to start steaming, roasting, doing all our main dinner prep.
Yeah. I'll do all the heavy work. Yeah, you do the light work, Chris. Yeah, no, don't worry, don't stress out.
Teamwork. And then I think Will's got a sticky toffee pudding. They'll be ready for us after. But
I will finish off with a sticky toffee pudding. But anyways, so this is colorization. Are you starting off with some of your starting, or?
I'm going to start and get our soup on because we want to do that cooking. We want to get the soup cooking while we crack on with other bits of prep. Something I've never cooked on this before. I want to point that out. I've always cooked on an SEC in kitchens and kitchens without, but I just want to show you how easy it is to actually start cooking with a VCC with little experience. So I've got some soup prep that I've done beforehand.
Of it, he's prepared.
Mise en place, chef.
Is it not like Blue Peter? And here's what I don't know.
It is a little bit like Blue Peter. So, going to do some squash, sweet potato, onion. I've got some sweet bell peppers and some garlic. I'm going to want to sweat that down. When it's sweating, I'm going to incorporate some spices. I've got some mixed spice. You've got some cloves. I want a bit of cayenne and a little bit of chili just to give it a little bit of punch. Nothing too crazy because you're starting, you don't want to taint the palate before your main course, but just something to warm you up a bit. Then I'm going to go with.
Oh, what's he pulling out now?
Another prep tray.
Oh.
Organisation, well. CaterKwik. This is the real deal. Then I'm going to go with my brioche and garlic mushrooms. So I've got shiitake mushrooms, some flat cap, some normal button, garlic, shallots, parsley. Going to finish that with cream and butter, make a nice thick, rich sauce. Creamy garlic mushrooms on toasted brioche. But I'm going to kind of be cooking both at the same time. And it's worth noting that when the soup's in the left-hand side and when my garlic mushrooms are the right-hand side, I'll obviously be explaining what I'm doing. But in a real kitchen, you can kind of be nipping on with a lot of other stuff in the background that you wouldn't normally think about. So that's when these can be on the go and I can be helping Will get set up for the lunchtime, getting the main courses down, going and see the younger chefs in the kitchen and seeing if I can help them because I know this is going to look after what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is get this set up for my soup.
Oh, shall we bring it
As
in?
simple as.
Let's come and have a look.
Similar to the SEC.
Oh, let's have a look.
There's a little soup. You see a little French bowl of soup. Soup. Rational recommended says I think I'm not going to go for about 35 minutes. I want to take that down to about 20.
Yeah, we haven't got a large portion there.
See where I go. This is heating up.
Oh, so we've got preheat down here.
So it's preheating the pan, ready for me to get a saute going. Rationale's recommended there, so it's in between like medium high saute heat. I'm just going to put a little bit of oil in. Not a lot, just a little bit, just like a frying pan. Don't want to drown it. I'm going to steal this paddle.
Now these are non-stick, aren't they? Because so we don't need a lot of oil. You just need a little bit just to help with the frying and.
No, there's a lot of sensors and temperature control on the base plate as well, so there's not going to be any sticking. and literally afterwards we can just incorporate some water straight in from the cabinet because it's hooked up to water. I don't need to take it off, put it through the dishwasher. I don't need KPs to come in and clean it before I start cooking again. I can already feel it and hear it coming to temperature. I'll get a couple of bits out. There's my first symbol.
Beeping. I thought that was me then.
So this is telling me to fry now. So I want to go in with onion. Get everything in there. I want to get a good saute on it. A little colour won't hurt.
Now that scraper in your hand, does that? I'm going to have to ask Tom a question here now. Now, does that come with every Vario that you buy, or do you have to buy that separately, the scraper?
So we do all the accessories separate because we make a variety of different sizes. So this is one of our tabletop units, the 112T, but there are larger units which require different sort of accessories, different packs. So we do the same with the SEC, all the accessories separate, just so that you can get what accessories you require rather than us pre-giving you suggested items that way. But you can always speak to your Rational sales advisor, speak with companies, so CaterKwik here are brilliant, and they can advise you what sort of accessories would be required for your business. I believe you actually loan them out as well?
We do. We loan out. We've got this rack here actually, if you can get that. We can get this in the CaterKwik van over to your kitchen with one of each accessory, and you can try out what kind of works for your menu, what works for your kitchen, what your chefs like to work with. Let us know what you like, feed it back to us, and then you can buy the trays that you want off of us instead of spending money on trays that you might not necessarily use. Then when you're finished, we'll come and deliver your new trays, and we'll come and collect this and take it back, ready for the next customer to try out.
Obviously, there's many different accessories, come in many different sizes. You got halves, you got 2x1s sometimes, don't you? You've got there's so many different options. So yeah, just give us a call, we can help you with any solutions. Now, this started flashing before, saying that it's done. I still think it needs just a little bit more colour. So I press the continue cooking button, which has given me an option of how much longer do I want it to be, and how obviously the colorization. So I've only just put it on for another 7 minutes, but I might cut that a bit short, I'll keep that on an eye there. And then we're going to have a look at the shrinkage of the actual turkey, because obviously with meat, with any meat you cook, a big thing is how much product you're going to get from it, and shrinkage is always a massive thing. With usual cooking methods, you're losing about 15 to 30% of the actual
30%, I think.
You
can think of a turkey in a normal oven. It's direct heat, it's constant penetrating heat. What that does to meat is that the meat contracts in on itself, it pulls in. So you're getting tougher meat, and you're losing most of the juices are coming out of the bird. So you're cooking a bird, the meat's shrinking, and all the juices are coming out of the bottom of it.
So we bought this from our local supplier, Irving's, one of our butchers here in Ulverston. And as we said, it was about 14.3 kilograms bird, and it's cost us £57.51. Okay, so again, if it was a 30% shrinkage, it's about £17.26, I've been told. That's how much money you're actually losing of that bird. So you have to somehow make that money back from the customers.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you can reduce that and make more product, making more money, Bob's your uncle, isn't it?
Saving money, especially at times of this year.
Oh, yeah.
From my own personal experience, trying to run Christmas rotas with chefs, any money you can save and any time you can save at this time of year is important. So if you're saving £2,000 a year on meat, that £2,000 a year can either go back into the kitchen on equipment, or it can go covering staff hours.
Yeah.
You need KPs are staying longer, chefs are staying longer at night to get prepped. So it's an important time of year to save.
Definitely.
Now, I don't know if you can zoom in a little bit.
Well, we can certainly try, can't we?
So
let's have a look.
Everything's sautéing down quite nicely, getting a nice bit of colour. It's asking if I'm fully seared and ready to go. I'm not, I want a bit more colour, I want to swear a little bit more, but I'm just going to hit that green tick when I'm happy with it. I want to get some spices in there.
Hand that back to your cameraman.
To cook the spices out. It's a bit of like mixed spice. A little bit of chili, not a lot, just a little bit.
Ooh, spicy.
And a little bit of cayenne.
Don't make it
Just
too
a little
spicy.
bit,
I
I just
don't
want
like
it to
spicy.
cook out. There's nothing worse than raw spices.
I cook that through. Okay, we've got a nice golden brown colour on our turkey here now. So as you can see, we've got our nice little juicy tray down at the bottom here. So we're going to bring this out, and I'm going to hand this over.
I hope you don't hand it to me because I've not got any cloths in my
Well, I'm
hand.
not going to give you it. I'm going to put it on your
You
side.
can pop it down on the side to avoid burning myself on line screen, that would be good.
So look at all these juices. Obviously, usually beforehand, you don't get this much juice. You know, I've done it where you've roasted turkey and stuff and you've got a little bit of juice and you're trying to add water, scrape all the juices out the bottom to help it out. Don't need to do that. Plenty of stock there, and we've got all them lovely
I'm
parts
going to
there.
turn that
So we're
into
going to pull this
simple gravy
probe out.
after.
Now, this is a usual question that we always get. How many sensors in this probe?
6.
Six.
Tom's giving
From
me
the
a
end
look.
to the
We're on
tip.
6. We're on 6.
Did we get it right?
We can speak to Jeff upstairs, see what he thinks. Definitely 6 in my opinion.
So, now you put this in, I'm going to try and get this out.
This is great. I've actually been looking forward to this. I thought I was going to be the one that had to take the bird out of the oven, but I'm not, so I can just sit back and watch. I'll make you a bit of room.
No, you start it, I'll finish it. Ready, here we go.
It's teamwork, Will.
So, oh, look at that. Look at that. There we go. See, just that little bit longer to get your colour. So obviously the turkey's been cooked. I've caught a bit here. There we are. So what I need to do now is obviously my meat's cooked.
Do you want to turn the turkey?
All right.
Don't think you're showing the right part of the bird there, Will. That's not what people want to see, I don't think.
There you go. There's the
That's
front
it.
of the bird. Sorry,
That's
I'm
presentation,
facing this way. I want to have a look at it. All right. Okay. I'm going to move on and go on to grilling my brioche while that's just sitting there for a moment. So, as I was told, so we go into the meat section, go into the grill. I'm just going to use the pre-settings of what Rational recommends, but I'm going to bring obviously the time right down to about 2 minutes, because obviously we're only toasting a bit of brioche. So, if I close the door, it might tell me that it needs cooling down, or as you can see, it's going to preheat it.
I'm happy the Rationale's looking after my brioche and not you, Will, to be fair. I'm happy the Rationale's looking after my brioche and not you.
You're happy Rationale's looking after your brioche?
Right, I've got some nice colour on this. Spices have been cooking out for a minute. I've given it a bit of a stir. Now it's going to ask me how much water I want to put in.
Do you want to come around, cameraman? Come around.
Yeah.
Come around. He's stretching over the poor fella. That's it, get in there. Have a swiff.
Right, so I think I'll start in 2 litre increments.
Oh.
So sorry, Chris, what did you do then to put the water in?
Well, when I've done with my sear, the Rational already knows I'm going to need to incorporate liquid.
Yes.
So, little tap, I've pressed that, I select on my selector how many litres I want to go. I went with 2, just so that you can always drain it off if you put too much. But I've started with 2, I may be thinking that I want another litre in there, just to keep it ticking over. So I'm going to add another litre. This is another point, is working in a kitchen, you're in tight spaces, you're working close with chefs. If you've got this on a pan on a stove, I'm going to be lifting a big stock pot, I'm going to be taking it over to a sink, getting in the KP's way. I've got this roasting hot pan, trying to get water in there, or I'm trying to transport water from one side of the kitchen over to the side of the kitchen I'm cooking on. So you're walking with trays of water in between people, literally press a button and the water's straight in your cooking pot. I don't need to leave my space. I don't need to get in anyone's way. I don't need to stop other people what they're doing, and I'm not going in around the back of Will while he's trying to cook on equipment with water. Now, I'm going to drop my probe in. It's asking me to drop my probe in because I've got my liquid in. So I'm going to just drop it in the middle there. And click tick to go to the next thing. It's asking me to shut the lid. I'll quickly show this. This is why I know what it's doing. So it's brought up to temperature. It's brought up the base to temperature. I've seared it. I've added my liquid. I've drawn my core probe in. And now I just need to drop the lid. And it's going to cook for me for 20 minutes. That's literally it. I don't need to worry about this for 20 minutes. I can move on to other things. I can start cooking.
So you finished talking then?
You can take 5 minutes while
I
I get
take
ready
a
to
few
do my
minutes?
mushrooms,
Can I?
How's my brioche?
It's so nice. So brioche has gone in. All we've just simply done is press on where we've put it in, and it's just going to be on the 2 minutes one. Obviously I've lightly put oil on the top, and you can see it's inside there, and it's going to tell me once it's done. So what I'm going to do next is, obviously we were talking about shrinkage before. We're going to try and weigh this big fella, and hopefully we're going to see how much shrinkage. Now Rational states that they decrease the shrinkage by 22%. So let's find out how much this has been shrunk. Now this is going to be the tricky bit.
This is the moment of truth.
This is the moment of truth. So let's turn the weighing scales on. I'll get my drink out the way. Have a quick sip. Oh, that's good. Okay, so zero it out. Now obviously we did it without the tray and everything. Bloody hell, how are we going to get this moving? This ain't going to be easy, Chris. This is going to be bloody hard.
Would you have to have a wire rack on the other side that you could weigh, maybe for the weight in that? That's it.
Which wire rack?
Yeah, weigh the rack and then weigh it all as one unit and then take the rack off.
Oh.
And just deduct the weight.
So if I move my stuffing tray, so if we weigh a rack, see these guys are clever here. They have a, so if we zero that on, so that's got the weight of the tray, so then I can just put the tray on. That's bloody hot. I do not miss that, Chris. You know, being all the time in a kitchen, getting all those lovely burn marks.
I've rescued my brioche from Will's capable hands.
All right. Woo! Now, why is that not making a sound there, Tom?
Do you have the audio turned down? So again, you can change the volume.
That's
turn
a
it up and
possibility.
down. So if I just come into settings here, we come down to the little alarm. Have a little look. Just make sure that everything's set there. Turned on.
Sorry there, Chris. I was too busy weighing me
Sorry,
bird.
so I've got your back.
There we go.
If it was your dish, Will, I would have just left it, I think. I'm going to come in behind you, so just be careful.
Oh, look at that. That's nicely toasted.
Straight off the rack.
That's what we like.
And I'm just going to rest it under here until I'm ready for it.
No probs. Okay.
Now, the SEC is all yours, Will.
So, what I'm going to next is, if I go back there, I want to go on to steam now, because I want to steam my veg. That's my next job. If I can come out of this,
So
it's
just hold the top button down.
Hold the top button down.
There you go.
Ah, magic. So, nope. So I'll go into my set menus, and if I go to my CaterKwik steam, there we are, and then I can just select where I want to put. I've got potatoes, parsnips and carrots. Parsnips and carrot, I can't talk today. Carrots and parsnips we're going to put together. Hopefully.
I think it's worth mentioning here, actually, because this is a problem that you might encounter in a kitchen. Head chef might have a day off. He might have set everything up. Might have a sous chef who's really busy. He might not know how to set something up on this. He might not have done it before. He might be relatively new in the kitchen. But there's a cook line. Rational have a chef line that you can call. You can call Rational and say, look, I'm in a kitchen. I need to do this. I've got a service. Can you help me get this set up? The chef can ping over settings directly from his phone. There's service and help all the time. If you're not comfortable doing that, you can phone someone like me or Will at CaterKwik in the office. Yeah. I'll call Rational for you. I'll get someone on the phone that can call you in your kitchen and get you help.
Yeah. We're open 8 till 8, so there's always somebody here.
I think that's the thing with the kitchen, it's not always rehearsed.
So obviously I've put it on different levels. I've got potatoes, carrots and that, and obviously it's telling me first, because obviously we had it on oven, we need to cool it right down before we go into the steam. So while that's cooling down, let's have a quick weight on this turkey. So we can see here it's 10.5 kilograms. So on 10.5 kilograms. Now hopefully somebody back there is working about how much shrinkage did we lose around about there. So if we go to somebody who can work out, we'll get somebody will be with us soon. But I think that looks very promising. It looks very promising. I can't do off the top of my head. I used to, but no, not anymore.
I think
So I'll
that's
put
great.
that back on there. And I think we can get rid of the weighing scales now, can't we?
Well, you know how hard it is to get a turkey looking like that over normal.
Oh, that
Even at
beautiful.
home.
Oh, even at home.
You have to baste it, glaze it, look after it. You're up all Christmas night, mum's up all Christmas evening.
You don't have time
turkey.
for that. Okay, this is flashing for me to put some steaming stuff in. So obviously, let's get...
While you start loading, well, I'm going to go and start sautéing my mushrooms off for my brioche starter.
You do that.
So I'm cooking on the left, got a red arrow there. I'm going to go right arrow. Pictures here. I'm going to go into braise because I want to get a bit of a sear on the product, and then I kind of want to incorporate cream and butter, and then I want it to kind of simmer away. I don't want to boil it necessarily because I don't want it to split, but I want a nice sear and then a gentle cook. That way I can leave both lids closed, ready until I just want to finish them, season them up and plate. So, as with before, little red arrows telling me that it's coming up to temperature. And I'm just going to get a little bit of oil. And a little bit of butter. Oil and butter together so the butter doesn't burn.
So just a quick look, I'm putting the steam in. Obviously I've got potatoes here and my carrots and parsnips here. So if I just close that door, hopefully it's off and it's on. Off it goes. So I leave that now, and obviously as Chris is, you can work on something else. Off you go, leave it, off it goes. Okay, what we on? So you get your butter on the go.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
it's just the garlic mushrooms.
soup's cooking, lids down. This is up to temperature now, so it's asking me to start them on sauté. So I'm going to go straight in with onions and shallots. I want to sweat them down just for a minute, soften them up before I get the mushrooms in there. A bit of salt in the onions because it helps them break down. I'm going to hit that with some garlic. Smells over here, Will.
Oh, sorry, I did make sure I had a shower this morning.
Christmas smells, Will.
Okay, I've just got some figures. So we've reduced the shrinkage savings by £1.73 per, what's that, per portion or per meat? Per roast. So we saved £1.73. So over about 10 roasts a week, over a year, you're saving about £900.
I reckon so, yeah.
£900.
Yeah.
So obviously, how many roasts did you used to do in a...
We used to get turkeys in every day and have to cook them, pre-cook them because we didn't have cabinets like this to cook them in. So we.
Well, you wouldn't cook one turkey.
Also, there's the other cost with gas as well. It's like literally to get all these turkeys cooked, you've maybe only got a 6 burner, or maybe if you're lucky, 2 6 burners with a stove underneath. You put one of those turkeys in, that's your oven gone for what, 8 hours of the day?
Yeah.
Then what are the rest of the chefs cooking this stuff in? So your cookers are going all the time.
Yeah.
They're constantly loaded with turkey. Where are you cooking your other food?
Yeah. Labour cost, obviously, like you said.
Yeah. I'm going to
Once
get
it's got
some
in, it's
mushrooms in
no
this. So I'll
basin.
start to get some.
Nice colour there.
Right, so I've got some shiitake mushrooms. Prepped and washed, ready while Will was in his bed this morning.
Oh, I like to sleep.
Some button mushrooms.
I think though, as Chris was just saying then before, you know, the advantage of being able to load your product up the night before, put it in and come in and know that it's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
You know, as they were both saying, coming in early in the morning, you know, it's not just Sunday roast, but especially at Christmas when there's more hours to work.
Yeah.
You know, you're already working late, every day's busy hopefully, and that you're trying to increase that production. It's using this equipment as it sort of protects you, future-proofs the business to take it through to the next stage. It's really about looking and sort of how we can manage to get that cooking into a 24-hour period. It's permanently monitored through, it's permanently taking its HACCP data. We have supporting things like Connected Cooking, which will log all of its HACCP data for up to 6 months and give you in a PDF graph. So you've permanently got the visibility with your units, both with the self-cooking sensor and the Vario cooking sensor. And it's just how we can take these simple productions and make them into a newer, more economical, cleaner way of doing it. So that you're producing everything that we try and do here at Rational, so make everything streamlined and more productive, whether that be saving you time, labour, manual handling, resources, energy, production. So we're talking about reducing it. So it's paying for itself, not just in the meat it reduces, but the hours. You know, how much is your time worth to you, or your chef's time? It's hard to find a chef in this modern day and age. No chef wants to come in at, what we saying, 8 hours? Imagine starting every day 6 hours early at Christmas. Who's pulling the short straw to come in? What sort of time would you be coming in to put a turkey in?
Oh, I'm terrible. I've been in kitchens at 5 o'clock in the morning on my own before other staff are there, and that's the realistic thing of what happens with kitchens. But I've been in a kitchen before where we had Rational 2 6-decks we had introduced into our kitchen just before Christmas. So at the end of a service, you've got Call Me Chef. I don't know why I pointed at you when I said that.
Oh, thanks, Chris.
Call Me Chef. But you've got instead of having pans and boiling and roasting, you've got Call Me Chef's got a 6-deck to himself. He's steaming his potatoes, he's steaming his carrots. It's all par blanched ready, on trays, ready to roast the next day. It's in the fridge before you go home. Your mise en place before you even go home. You're finishing service, you're getting ready.
We've just got some comments come in from Richard. He says, what a lovely looking bird. Thanks, Richard. Thanks. Oh, you're talking about the turkey. Oh,
I think he's talking about me.
I thought he was. Anyway, Richard also asks, if a 10 grid is looking too big, what other sizes are available?
That's a good question.
Well, you did mention
before. I worked in a kitchen that we kind of wanted to cook a lot of different things. Rational came out and kind of assessed our size of our kitchen, what power we had, and what our menu was like, and we went for 2 6-decks. So in here you've got a cabinet internally. It's got 10 racks for gastronomes to go on. You cut that down to about a 6. You can also get an XS, so you can get that on a lower power setting. So if you've not got 3-phase industrial power, you can still get a Rational in. Little XS, and it sits on the countertop.
And it's a lot smaller as well. It's very handy for like small cafes.
So the Rational XS is the smallest model that we make. It's a 2/3 gastronome. So whereas they're both the 61, the 101, the 10 grid, the larger units, the 201, which is 20 grids, and then you've got 40 grids. Although you can possibly get them so that they're side by side if you need. We've got a unit for every solution. But with the XS, you can have that built in. You can also have external. So we do an Ultravent and an Ultravent Plus, so you don't have to have a canopy above it. So you could look at doing them as Rob was saying on the front of a bar. You can build them into unit walls as well, so it's just the front, it's just a facing unit. So it really offers you a solution for everything that you need going forwards. There's a unit size for that.
For all chefs, all kitchens really, isn't it?
And Ultravents are only available on electric units, because obviously gas, you still need the legal requirements of the extraction. But anyways, I think we should get a couple of slices off this bird, should we? Should we try and get a couple of slices while
I'm going to put a little bit of cream in my mushroom, chef. It's asking me if I'm fully seared and I'm happy with it.
Practice slicing for Christmas, is it? So how many do you usually get over Christmas yourself, Chris? How many are you cooking for Christmas this year?
I'm not cooking.
You're not cooking?
I'm not cooking at Christmas.
How are you not cooking?
My wife's mother was a chef for all of her life, so I am the call me chef at Christmas.
Ah, so you do all the prep work.
She might be watching at the moment.
Look at that, just crumbling away. I'm doing a dreadful job here. I'm doing an awful job, Chris.
I can see the juice.
Look, I'm making a mess. I'm making a mess.
Gorgeous.
Let's just put this in this nice little dish here.
How do I bypass the water? I don't want water in there.
Obviously, we've still got to think about health and hygiene. No, it's only probably going to be Tom. I'm going to try.
I'm going to put some cream in.
So, if I bring that a bit closer, obviously you can let this rest, and obviously it'll be a lot easier to slice, but you know, just get a couple of slices off there. Look at that. As you can see all that nice juicy. You can see how juicy that is. It's nice. Now obviously turkey's always known as a very dry bird. You know, I've never always been a big fan of turkey. Well, you were mentioning about this. Well, I know you want to talk about it, Chris. I know you want to.
A little bit. I know some bits and bobs. With turkey, it's not got as much fat content as chicken. So when you roast a chicken, there's more fat that'll break down.
Even though they look fat, they're not actually full of
it's
fat.
more plump. It looks like it's going to have the fat content, but it's not. It's not got as much fat at all.
So it's
when you're
actually
roasting,
a leaner bird.
that's why it's so hard to get right, because it tends, when you cook it, to be dry. It's not like roasting a chicken at home where it kind of looks after itself. It's got more fat to break down, makes the meat juicier. With turkey, you have to be really careful. You need to try and the moisture and the juice that's in it at the start is what you want to keep inside it all the way through.
So we've got the cream in our garlic cream.
So the mushrooms down with garlic. I said I'm on the braising setting, so it's asked me if I'd seared it up enough, which I have. I'm going to drop my probe in, just as before. I'll keep checking this as I go.
So obviously you can see
how much. 20 minutes.
You can see how much we got in there. This is obviously just a small portion, but you can see how much garlic mushrooms you could actually fit.
I'm going to go 5 minutes.
You're going 5 minutes with this. Oh, we're closing it down.
I'm going to give it 5 minutes, and I'm just going to give it a check, and then I think I'm just going to hold that while I get ready to do bits and bobs with my soup and start getting ready for plating up.
Doing bits and bobs, are we?
Bits and bobs, yeah.
Bits and bobs. So I'm still steaming. It's saying me parsnips and carrots are almost done, so they should be beeping at me anytime soon, but obviously the potatoes still need to get bit. And then obviously I'm going to move on to roasting. So I've got roast potatoes, we're going to do some nice honey glazed carrots and parsnips. We've got piggies, obviously my favourite part of the Christmas dinner. Everybody likes a good piggy.
Brussels sprouts as well. I'm going to look after the Brussels sprouts.
So obviously we're flashing away. So this is saying me carrots and parsnips are done. So safety first, I don't want to burn myself. Now always remember to get a nice steam facial when I open these doors. Did you ever get that, the nice steam facial?
No, get in the habit of taking the step back.
Well, yeah, did you not used to do it at the beginning when you first got a Rational? Have you worked, how many kitchens have you worked in at the Rational?
I remember, I kind of started cooking, it was a long time ago, 15 years. I think it was the best part of like 8 years ago. Then every kitchen I worked in either had a Rational or started incorporating Rational.
Well, I think I've been lucky enough. In every kitchen I've worked in, I've always had a Rational.
Yeah.
Lucky enough, I've always had a Rational.
No, I think that's why it's good, is because coming from a chef background, now into, I'm a sales executive now at CaterKwik. If somebody calls to speak about Rational, why would they want one, what's it all about, I can kind of speak to them about the chef side of things and the technical side of things. So it's good because I've been in the position before and I know the problems that are faced. Do you need a hand there? Are you all right?
I'm getting there. Look. Okay, it might be in a few years since I've actually done this. All right, Chris. We did slightly practice. I'm going to burn Tom's hand right now. Look at him, add stuff. Just taking that tray away.
I've not been in a professional kitchen in 2 years.
2 years.
2 years. It's a long time out.
I think about maybe four for myself. So, where's me honey? Well, obviously, do you do a lot of cooking at home? See, we've always said, any chef would say they want a Rational at home.
I would love a Rational at home. But I'm going to be careful saying that I cook at home as well, because I think somewhere the wife might be watching and she might post a comment saying otherwise. But I do cook at home, and I want everyone to know that I do make an effort as a husband to cook fresh every night.
Oh, good man.
Delete her comment if she gets in touch.
Obviously, keep bringing your comments, if you got any questions about anything, or if you just want to join in with the banter, we don't mind.
If it's banter at Will's expense, then we can join in.
Well, I do have to say, we've got to have a look at some of your utensils. You've got a spatula over there, haven't you?
Yeah, I do.
Where's your festive spatula?
It's my Christmas spatula.
Look at his Christmas spatula.
And if the wife's also watching from home, then she might notice that this is actually her Christmas spatula. So if we could move on swiftly from that, well, that would be handy, because I'm going to get a row when I go home. I've got 2 minutes left. On the right.
You've got 2 minutes.
3 minutes left.
I've got 6 minutes on my potatoes. So obviously we're getting a bit of
some plates up.
Bit of brown sugar on the top of this. I'll get some gloves on and mix this in.
I'm going to need to steal your area in a couple of minutes to get my soup blended, if you don't mind as well.
My area?
Yeah.
So whilst Will and Chris are just doing a bit of mise en place, I'll just talk about some of the processes and some of the things that they've used in the self-cooking centre today, as well as the Vario cooking centre. On my right here is a dummy panel. So this is the computer out of the inside of the Rational. And this is one of the overnight processes. So last night, you saw the earlier video, I believe it was Chris, loaded up the turkey, popped it in and popped that probe in. And it's gone through a variety of different stages to help that cooking. And this is how it reduces that shrinkage. So this is like a sat-nav. It's intelligent cooking, so it moves and it adjusts as it cooks through. So it'll go through a variety of different chambers. It can make changes and adjustments as required. So there's always a little eye that you can press and it'll show you the information. So we'll use the probe to permanently cook that. And we were speaking before about how we can use this to record our HACCP data. So every unit is standard, both with the self-cooking centre and the Vario cooking centre, will record up to 10 days worth of HACCP data as default. To access this, you can always come into the little oven at the bottom, which will look like the little combi oven, and that brings up all your settings. If we come down to the little USB section, there's a HACCP data download. So if we did want to see all that HACCP data, or there are ever any issues, or you want to check it through, we can come to a HACCP data download. Now there'll be a USB port on the bottom of the unit. On the self-cooking centre, it's on the bottom left, and on the Vario cooking centre, it's just at the bottom of the panel, or if it's a tabletop unit like ours here today, there's just a little USB port at the front. Ideally, we recommend using a 4 GB USB stick, which format that through the computer, pop it in, and then select the time period you'd like to download and see. Then all you need to do is press this little button here and it'll download all of that HACCP information for you. Now moving forwards, because we are a company that prepare the kitchens for the future, we look at something called connected cooking. So both of these units can take an LAN connection, which is a direct internet lead, into the unit. Any unit from March 2017 will have this installed in it as default. But going into other units, you can always have this retrofitted as an extra. And what this allows us to do is set up something called connected cooking. And there are many benefits to connected cooking. So this unit here on my right here is actually linked through connected cooking to my phone. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to search and find my dummy panel here. As this loads up, as we can see, we can now select our unit. Now I can take the option. If I come into it and we can see exactly the cleanliness status, exactly what it's up to in temperatures and humidities, but we also have the ability to take remote control directly over the unit. So any change I make here, so if I was worried if I was at home last night that there was a power cut, we can always come in and make direct changes. This allows you to do programming. You could be a head chef where you have multiple units on site and one's on the other side of the site. It allows us to send all our programs. So we built some programs today and they're all linked through, and it allows us to send them directly across. So it really links all your units together and allows you to take it through to the next stage. This is a great thing as well. It offers software updates and just brings everything into sort of working together. So every time you cook a piece of food using a process, whether that be ICC, an intelligent cooking control, or an ILC, like Will's steaming the veg on, I'm going to be doing some roasting on, an intelligent level control, this allows that full use and ability to utilise the unit. It'll log all of that HACCP data and store it, which is just helping your backup and sort of data going through. Whilst I've been talking, the boys have been quite busy. How are we getting on?
Well, I've got about 2 minutes on my potatoes, so obviously I've put all the honey and the brown sugar on my carrots and parsnips. So I've just popped it underneath this tray. Obviously, this is a combi stand. I can't even talk. This is a combi stand. Obviously, there's many different options. You've got a Rational one, but CaterKwik do have a special offer, if I believe, that we do give away a free stand with every Rational sold. I am getting a nod. I do believe that is correct. I always like to make sure giving away free stuff, it's always a risky job, isn't it? So we do give away a free combi stand with every Rational that we do sell. But obviously you can go for a bit more, a lot more extravagant options. This one's got its own caster, so obviously you can pull it out and clean behind. Obviously you've got to make sure your kitchen is nice and clean.
I think you can get cabinet base as well.
Yeah.
Cabinet base, or you can have it on feet, so it's more static. Wheels if you want it a little bit more mobile thing, so you can pull it out a bit.
There is other companies out there where you can get refrigerated units that can sit underneath there, and obviously you can have it all nice and from the fridge straight into the oven, so it's all nice and stored there, ready to go straight in. Yours started beeping. What was your beeping about?
I'd give my soup 20 minutes. What I've done is I'll just put that on like an 8-minute boil just to keep it rolling over a bit more, just to break down the fibres in my vegetables a little bit more. But obviously I've never cooked on it before, but it's that easy. It's all there, little pictures for me to press, and I know what I'm doing. In the right hand side, I've just incorporated a bit more oil into a little bit more cream into my mushrooms. I'm almost there. I'm going to finish that up with a bit of butter, a bit of seasoning, and I'm almost ready to rock and roll.
Well, it looks like Richard has commented again.
No, Richard is turning into a bit of a fan, I think.
Are there any concerns of water quality like the older CPC models?
The Combi Master without water treatment.
So the self-cooking centre has a water management treatment system for maintenance. So we use two different tablets. We have a cleaner and we also have our maintenance status tablet. This, if we come under cleaning, will always respond to this top bar up here. And by using these tablets, it will remove any lime scale and maintain the inside of the tank. Of course, if you're from a water area with a lower quality water or a higher calcium level, you may require to use more of these tablets to stop there being any build-up of calcium. But that really depends region from region. But it does mean that you've got a complete water solution that'll look after all of that water going through. It's just a case of applying the tablets into it as often as it requires it, which will always depend on usage. If you're using the unit to steam a lot, of course it's going to get through more water than if it was used for drier processes. Does that answer the question?
I think it really does.
Happy? So, is that
I believe you would answer it. Yes, potatoes are done, so potatoes are coming out. I'm just going to pop them underneath here for now.
Looking good, chef, good size.
While I change this, so I've been told I hold that button down, I go back to my menus and I go to CaterKwik roasting. So this is the ILC. So I want obviously...
This was all set up on that panel over there this morning, separate from the machine and sent over, I believe, Tom, wasn't it?
Yes, so we just used a USB stick. So again, as we were saying before about taking the HACCP data download, in the same section, so again if we come back into the little combi oven symbol at the bottom, we come into the USB section, or our system administration, we can do a program download or upload. So all we've done is simply, I built all the programs on this panel with Chris and Will that they wanted this morning, then we downloaded them to a USB stick, I travelled that to the unit, I plugged it into the bottom of the unit that I wanted to upload the programs onto, and did the opposite, so I did a program upload. And that'll transfer all of the processes and programs on one unit onto another. This is a great way of backing them up if you've got multiple units, but again with connected cooking you can press a button and it'll send them out multiply to multiple sites. So it really does just open up that ability of freedom, but they're your recipes, build them, save them, and then you can store them into the unit.
So you can do this from your computer in like the office or from home, or even, is there a mobile app? I believe there is.
Yeah, so you can do it both mobily on your phone, on a tablet. So it might be that you're in your office and you just want to see, or you've got something in, so you've put something on the split shift. It might be that you've got a joint of meat cooking for the evening service, and you just sat in your office and doing it, and you can just keep an eye on it on your computer screen there, and then you've not got to keep getting up to go back in and check on what the product or where it is up to within that process. So it just really allows you the ability to permanently interact with your unit and understand what your food's doing.
Yeah, I think the good thing about that is, I think I kind of touched on it before. If you've got junior chef members of the team and you want everything cooked the same way, I think it's nerve-wracking for any head chef, sous chef to be away from the kitchen, but literally all it is what, a quick text, or can you quickly show me how to set this up? Chef can text it in, literally drag and drop for the chef that's on site in the morning before head chef gets there. So you can look after your rational when you're not even there.
Yep.
While you're sitting at home on your day off having a glass of red wine.
The worst thing in it, when you're sat at home and you're going, I hope everything's going all right in the kitchen, so the head chef or whoever's not there, they don't have to worry about it, they can easily just connect in, which is great. So obviously this is warming up right now. Again, obviously we've gone from cold for bringing it down to steam to all the way up for roasting, which we're going to be at 200 degrees. I've got just a couple on right now. I've got 2 minutes so I can warm up my oil to roast my roast potatoes and warm up the oil for the Yorkshire puddings. And I've got carrot and parsnips ready once that's ready, so I can put that straight in. And then afterwards, once I've got my oil warmed up, I can throw my potatoes, my Yorkshire puddings in there. And another thing that I haven't got in there is my pigs in blankets. So I'm just going to make this 2 minutes, and I'm just going to press the time on the side there and just extend that time. How much longer do we want to set this, Christopher? Oh, Sunday
Please,
name.
Don't Sunday name me. Don't Sunday name me.
Well, we'll put it on for 5 minutes for now.
Yeah.
And then obviously we can always extend any of these times, we can always press and just extend the time, you know. Especially with Yorkshire pudding, sometimes the mix can always be different. We never like a flat Yorkshire pudding. It's the worst thing ever when you bring out a tray of Yorkshire puddings and they all just gone flat. Worst thing ever. How we're looking over
I'm
there.
just going to give it a little bit of a stir.
A bit of a stir.
Yeah.
So there's a little magnet at the top here.
Ah, yeah.
Probable setting. That'll just hold it up and out of the way.
See, we're still learning. We're still learning.
Right, I'm almost ready to finish up here. I'm going to go with a little bit of butter. And I need to season it up. I'm going to get salt in there. Season it up. Oh, sorry. I just want to give this a couple more minutes just for the butter to melt. It's going to be finished essentially. Mushrooms are cooked. I just want everything to kind of emulsify together. Butter will help thicken the cream into a thick sauce. Just tell me the left side's done. Go back to the right side.
So if you wanted to add a little bit more time on, you can always just press the little clock, which is our follow-on time. Again, it's going to ask just for that probe to be inserted, just so it knows exactly what's going on with the product, so it allows it to monitor and understand what it's cooking.
Yeah, got it.
Once that's in there, it's going to press a little tick. It's fine. Put this down. And it's going to go through a heat up again. Just make sure it's up at temperature. Now you can leave the lid up if you wanted on this stage, which is going to help evaporate any of those liquids
that's a good point. Okay.
So if it needs a lid down, it'll always prompt you and ask. And it really is with the Vario
that's what I wanted. It's starting to rock and roll now. I'm just going to keep an eye.
Looking good.
Smelling good, well. Smelling
So
good
that'll go
also.
through here. Now your soup buzz then, did I see, Chris?
I'm
Soup,
flashing now.
What I do, so my soup's buzzed. I just gave it another boil. Now I'm just going to check that the vegetables are broken down as much as I want them to. And I think we're almost there. All my fibres are broken down. I think I may just want to drain a little bit of this liquid away. I think I might have a little bit too much.
So we could use something called boil down.
Yeah?
And reduce it down like you would normally. So again, if you come back to the main screen.
Let's go to the main screen.
So we just come back. And then if we go into soups and sauces.
Soups and sauces. Boil down.
Let me boil down. So it's just going to be a really high temperature. It's just going to help evaporate any of that. So you can add in things here as well, where you get the rest of your seasonings and your volumes instead. But it is really sort of taking it to that stage where you can build stocks and sauces or soups, work out the exact amounts you require, and then you can save them so that you can get that consistency every time. And that's what we really look at every time, is making sure that your product is exactly the same every time, whether I make it or whether Chris make it. Once we've decided how much water, how much stock powder, how much sauce, and how much sort of ingredients, you can really just store all that in there. And as you would follow a recipe, Vario Cooking Centre or the Self Cooking Centre will follow an identical production system, so it maintains that all the same. So there's always a big discrepancy in chefs of what temperature to use, or how long, or how hot. Once you agree on a finished product, this will give you that consistency every time. So, like with the turkey, for example, once we're happy and we know that we cooked this to 72 degrees last night, and then we use the coloration option to put a bit more additional colour on it, as long as we do the same thing every time, we'll end up with an exactly same cook. Whether we use a whole turkey breast, a whole turkey, or different product, the Self Cooking Centre or the Vario Cooking Centre will use its intelligence to take you to the same place. And that's what we really mean when we talk about intelligent cooking. It's not a program, it's not like a set of instructions where you go forwards, you turn left, and then you take a right after so far. It's got the ability, and that processor has that brain to think, what does it need to do to get that perfect product every time? And that's what gives us that consistency.
Brilliant.
It's cleverer than you, Chris.
I think there's a lot of people in this room that may be cleverer than me. Well, I'm just going to just going to finish off my mushrooms with a bit of parsley, fresh parsley in.
Lovely.
This is good to go. I don't know if Will, you'd be kind enough to get my brioche up.
Your brioche?
That you were very kindly looking after for me earlier.
So here's your brioche, my good sir.
This is perfect.
So we've got a nice little loading rack here as well, isn't it? So we can put our dishes, our whatever, bowls or whatever we want to put it in afterwards. And it can hold, what it says there, 40 kilograms. It can hold a 40 kilogram load.
Yeah.
So obviously, and then it can go out the way. So then nice loading area, so you're not struggling trying to empty it. But then obviously out the way, then you can get back up and cooking.
And I've got a
It's
very
a nice little thing, isn't it?
nice gastronomic hit from you earlier, Will.
Here's one I prepared earlier.
Yeah,
Now we're
so
going to stop doing Blue Peter.
this is cooked. I'm just going to quickly check that my sauce is the right thickness.
Aye, you got to get it right.
And it is. I'm good. I'm good.
You're good. So obviously I'm flashing now.
I'm going to get some utensil.
This is just to warm up my oil. Ooh. So obviously I'm trying to be as careful as I can. Nice hot oil tray there. Put my Yorkshire just to the side there. So So what we've done is a part of my roasting is finished. I'm making a mess. I'm making a mess. You can tell
I'm here to clean up after you, apparently.
Thanks, Chris.
I think. Yeah, I've been doing it all day.
Thanks. So we've got our nice honey roasted carrots and parsnips there. So there's all done. I've got my stuffing done. I've got Yorkshire puddings that are absolutely blooming up. And piggies looks like they're almost done. They've got like 50 seconds. Roasties on the go. They still got a while yet. What are you up to, Chris?
I am going to drain my soup out, give it a blend, finish with a bit of cream and butter. Almost like a velouté, almost like a nice pureed soup, and then I'm going to garnish it up on camera. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain a bit of fat off of the cooking juices here. The turkey fat.
You always got to think healthy, Chris. You always got to think healthy. Especially at your age.
I don't want an oily gravy, chef.
Of course we don't, of course we don't. So I'll just pop that down there. Let's pop our stuffing just there.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the soup out of the left, give it a clean. I'm going to get Brussels sprouts, sautéing up. I'm going to get your gravy sorted in the right hand side, just skimming a bit of fat off. So underneath the turkey last night we had the giblets and a mirepoix. We had carrots, celery, onion, catching all the juices. That's roasted overnight. What I've done is collected all that juice, strained it. I'm going to skim off the fat, get all the cooking juices in the right hand of the Vario. You could do it the old-fashioned way, and you could get everything in there and thicken it up with flour and saute it up and bring your gravy up that way. Obviously, for ease of use, I suppose, I'm going to just use a thickening agent in the cooking juices and tart it up with a bit of red wine. And I'll do that all for you, Will, while you roast away. How are your Yorkies looking?
Well, here's my Yorkies.
I must say, you're quite brave. First time to do Yorkies in a tray.
Well, they usually say, oh, I'm going to lose one. I'm going to lose one. Oh no, I've saved it. I've saved it. I've saved it. I've saved it. So this is, obviously, this is what it's produced. Nice, quite flowery, aren't they? They bloom. I call them blooming Yorkshires. Blooming Yorkshires. Usually I have a nice big muffin. Obviously we've got some of it here with a nice little dip there.
Make sure a couple of those are reserved for chef tasting afterwards, I think.
Oh, chef's tasting.
Yeah.
So what, all of them, should we just leave one?
Yeah. Put one on the plate and then take the rest away.
Should we give one Tom? Do we like him that much?
I think he's helped us enough.
He has helped us out a bit. Okay, we'll let him have a Yorkshire pudding. Yeah. Obviously I've got pigs in blankets. They've came out as well. So what I might do is, while you're still doing that, I might dish up some of this stuff. So obviously nice and easy. I remember you always have chefs that have the Yorkshire pudding trays that have been treated with salt and all sorts, and as soon as a drop of water is touched it, that's it.
Or then the KP puts them through the dishwasher.
Yeah, KP puts it through the dishwasher.
And then you need to wait another 10 years to be able to get a decent Yorkshire pudding, chef. Yeah.
They get a decent Yorkshire pudding tray, it's just gone. So obviously that was no hassle, no fuss. So I'll get a couple of pigs in blankets. Look at these. Got to be the best part of the Christmas dinner. And the gravy.
Now I'm going to stir the gravy in the right hand side. What I was saying before is I could start sealing off my mirepoix in there, but I don't need to. I've roasted that in the oven overnight, so what I'm looking is just, I want to get a nice heat rolling through this, so I'm going to load this in here. I'm going to go sauce.
I'll just put my Yorkshire puddings just out the way for now.
To sorry, Chris, can you just take us back 1 second?
Yeah,
Show us what
I'm
you've
rushing
done.
ahead. I'm rushing ahead.
Just excited here.
Yeah, I do that. I've got a habit of that. So I wanted to get a sauce going. So I've got soup, velouté, convenience, clarify, boiled down, stock, sauce. So I'm going to go in for just sauce setting, go in with rational recommendation. I've got my cooking juices all nice, all the fat skimmed off so I've not got any impurities. And I'm just going to reduce this down, and I think Will's treated us to a little bit of red wine that I'm going to take in and incorporate at the moment just so I can get that cooking on.
Oh, we're actually using it for the gravy. Oh, okay, we won't drink it later, Chris.
I need to turn this down.
So we'll do, we'll just come back, just because the liquid's already loaded in, we're just going to go into boil down. We're just going to help it reduce as we go. We can choose either whether we want to do it quite quick, so we'll probably go quite quick today because we want to get that red wine and that alcohol cooked out. And then we're not going to need a massive amount of time because I believe you're doing a convenience stock today, you're making life easy.
Yeah, what I was saying before is we've roasted our giblets overnight, collected all the turkey juices the old-fashioned way. I could sauté all my vegetables and my giblets in there, or I could kind of poach my giblets in a stock overnight and get the stock rolling. But for ease of use, what I've done is I've got all the flavours there. I'm just going to use a thickening agent, whisk it already in the cabinet, and then literally I can scoop from there and straight onto the plate. I don't need to worry.
Just come back, just bring it down so it's slightly more gentle for you.
Perfect. I'm going to let that do the magic. And I'm going to get started to take my soup out. So Will, if you take it for 2 minutes, and then I'll get my soup out.
No
and then
problem.
I'll give you a shout when I'm ready to play.
So obviously I'm just dishing up. I did me stuffing in, these pans did we
Roasting
call it?
and baking pan.
Roasting and baking pan. So obviously I've just done my stuffing mixture in here and then I've popped it into the oven. So obviously I find these are very handy for if you wanted to do, you know, you have your roast dinners. Not everybody likes stuffing, but some people like a lot of stuffing. So you can easily just break that up and that can sit in the middle of a table. You know, nice and easy. Or, like you say, it's nice portion control as well. So then you can just dish it out and put it onto the plate. So we've got our Yorkshire pudding is done. We've got stuffing, we've got our turkey, we've got pigs in blankets, we've got carrots, parsnips. Roasties are about 3.5 minutes away. And Chris has got the gravy on the go. Soup, how we're looking for your soup.
I'm going to take it out and finish it now, Chef.
Oh, we're finishing
I'm going
the
to quickly clean it out and get ready for your Brussels sprouts.
And then Brussels sprouts.
And then I'm just waiting for you.
What are you waiting on me for? I'm almost done. I'm almost done. So if I just put them under there out the way for now.
I'll get my paddle, my Rational paddle.
So while Chris is filling up and doing whatever with his soup. So Chris, how long did you say you worked into the restaurant business?
15 years, it may not look like it though, about that. But I've been out for 2 years, so I've not been in a kitchen or cooked anything for 2 years. I've never cooked with a Vario, but I've watched it, been to a Rational live demo and seen it.
So 15 years.
So do you do demonstrations here very often?
We Rational are always in doing demonstrations. We've got Phil that comes in. He can come in, he can cook with customers. I'm sure he can come and meet customers here if somebody wants some more like formal advice. They can come in and cook on the Vario and the SEC with Phil or with ourselves, or I think you're more than welcome to bring your own team of chefs if you want to take some food from your restaurant. If you've got a dish you're maybe looking at Rational but you're not sure, you want to try yourself, then you're more than welcome to come down to CaterKwik. We'll give you the demo kitchen for a couple of hours, get your chefs in to prep up, start cooking, we'll leave you to it, come in and assist where you need it and see where you get to, and then get Rational in touch with you if you want to take it further. And there's demos and stuff. I think you go in Kendal and do demos in Kendal College, which is just up the road.
Yeah, we do demonstrations all over the UK. And Rational training academies as well, which are also free of charge to attend. Come and see the units and learn. So even if you're a customer who's already got one and you want more training, you can come along and sort of get the most out of it and learn the most out of it. Both on site, so with the sale of every unit, we'll do a unit introduction. We'll come and show you how everything works. But going forward from there, if you want more training, we'll have Rational Academy. So you can visit various sites across the UK, come in, and it's sort of a 3 to 4 hour intensive training session with ourselves. going through everything, how they work, answer all your questions, and make sure you get the most out of your investment. There's a huge variety of support with Rational, so there's the Rational app, again, which you can download on Android or Apple stores, which is just full of training videos. So similar to some of the videos Chris and Will put together here with both the self-cooking centre and the Vario cooking centre, but just providing all the information, how to do things, how to make programs, how to correctly clean the units, and answering most of your questions in just nice little short little videos.
So what are you doing there, Chris?
I'm just adding a little bit of water into the stock. So
again, it automatically puts water in, which is fantastic, which is great, so don't have to carry a whole bunch of heavy water over. And we're sorting out that gravy.
yeah, now I'm going to drain my soup.
You're draining your soup.
Yeah.
So the easiest way to do this is if you just hold the bringing up arrow to bring the pan up and just hold it in one smooth movement to decant it all the way through. So that would be...
Let's come around this side.
The side where it's just going to bring the little pan up.
Let's have a look.
See this one? So we hold that one down. It's just going to tilt this pan up. So again, going back to reducing that manual handling, there's no need for us to crank or anything. No, we're just going to hold it down all the way till it decants. So just keep the button pressed the whole time.
The whole time?
The whole time, so just bring it up in one nice smooth move.
Oh, that does smell good.
And it's very quickly brought everything to the front there. Then we can just scrape the rest of it down into your pan ready.
Easy.
Look at that.
I could do with something to just catch.
How about a little Christmas?
Oh, your festive
Oh, this
spatula.
is where I'm going to get caught Bonnie, isn't it? Here we go.
Would you always use a festive spatula?
I think it's important to get into the festive spirit, especially in a kitchen where they may not have time. Little things like snowflake spatula can really make the difference. And Christmas music, obviously.
So you're a big Christmas person. Have you got your Christmas decks up yet, Chris?
No, 1st of December I've been told I'm putting up my Christmas decorations.
Oh, no, ours have been up since.
Or more likely being told where I'm putting up the Christmas decorations. That's more likely.
No, our Christmas decks have been started going up since the 2nd of November.
I'm gonna
Still working on it. They're still going up. It's a big project with our family, Christmas decorations.
I feel bad. You're just waiting for me to finish, aren't you?
Yeah.
No pressure.
No. Oh, I'm flashing. So, this is saying my roast potatoes are done. So let's have a look, shall we? Oh, look at that. That's a nice colour on them. Just watch your back there, Chris.
Yes, chef.
Look at that. So, while that's just settling there, my next thing I'm cooking is my sticky toffee pudding, I believe so. So, if I go, close that door, go back there. Where did we put it, Tom?
So we're going to go into baking. So it's the
the
bread logo.
that bread logo.
We're going to come into sponge cake.
That's
it's going to be a similar
right.
sort of process.
So we're saying we're going to give it about 22 minutes. It's quite. I've done sticky toffee pudding, my own recipe. So here's fingers crossed if I remembered
I just
it.
want to turn the temperature down until I'm ready to incorporate my thickening agent. So I just kind of want to keep it just on a slow roll. I don't want it boiling. I just kind of want to keep it hot. What's the best setting for that?
Come in here, Jordan. Come on. He's saying it's getting a bit
Just
too
come
hot,
back,
so he
or
wants
we
to
can always
reduce
use
it.
manual. If it's something specific you wanted to do. So you've always got that option of control as well. So if you wanted to hold it at say 70 degrees, you can just select to put it on.
So if you're a temperatures man and you like it manual, you can go into it.
Yeah, you can build all your own manual programs. So there's not just the intelligent cooking controls that are built in, or the Vario cooking controls, but you've also always got the option to build something absolutely dedicated and specific to your requirements. So your temperatures, and you've got that element of control and precision.
I'm just going to keep that at temperature. And well, I'm going to go and quietly try and blend my soup without interrupting you too much.
Oh, try not, please. So obviously, come down here, Jordan. Let's get that out of the way. Come down here. So obviously we've done a sponge cakes option. So right now it's saying that it's going to cool down to 185 degrees. Now obviously every chef do their own different versions of how they cook the sponges and stuff like this. Well, I'm trusting Rational that they're going to create me the perfect sponge cake. All right. So here's goes. So obviously, right now I'm cooling down. I'll wait until it's cooled down, which is saying it's going to take what? Oh no, we've set it at 22. So once it's cooled down, my sponge cake will go in. Obviously, we've got a bit of butterscotch sauce, which I've already made, and then we can put it in at the end.
I'm going to start blending now, Will, and if I'm too loud, just quietly tell me and I'll try and move it.
You're always too loud. He's a loud person. So obviously there's many different, there's thousands and thousands of recipes which Rational, they have a massive R&D department which they're all different chefs and all this. I've tested it and tried to come up with the perfect way to make any products that you've cooked. There's many different options. Obviously, there's always the chef line, help line, that you can ring, help out with recipes and stuff like this. But, you know, Rational has been working on these ovens for absolutely ages and coming up with perfect recipes for you guys. And obviously, if we have a look, we've got, so it's cooling it down, and then it's, obviously I've got to load it, then it'll bake, and then it's putting a bit, so that's with full moisture, bring the moisture down, and then bring it right down at the end to give it that nice colour on the top. So then we'll get a nice fluffy sponge. See, usually, obviously, with me doing this before, I would just set it on a normal temperature and throw it in. Like I said, I've worked with Rational ovens before, but we never use the smart programs, which I think a lot of chefs do not use. They just use the convection or the steam, and they just put it straight into the oven, and they just set whatever time on continuous. Do you agree, Tom? Do you find a lot of chefs don't use the full functions at Rational?
Yeah, we find that it's something we work on, and that's why Rational Academy's become such a big thing to us, especially in the UK. It's all about getting the most out of your investment, and by using the processes like we talked about the turkey, you can save that money. And it's really understanding it to build that trust in. There's every opportunity at Rational Academy to come see and ask the questions. Something as simple as intelligent level control opens you up to more timers. So each shelf takes a timer. If you open the door, it's going to stop those timers. When you shut the door, if it needs to, it adds time on to compensate it. So I mean, simple jobs like steaming, whereas if the timer will go off, so just open the door and leave it, all your ingredients, all the different products you might have in there that you're steaming are still going to continue to cook because of the temperature inside the boxes, even though it's slightly cool because the door's open, and you've lost that consistency and that perfection. And what we can offer you is a system where you'll get an identical cook on a product every time, and all you've got to do is assign another timer to the shelf. So really it opens it up, and it just makes it a much more simpler way of utilising it. So like you can see today with Will, he's not to remember how many different things are in or remember any times. He's got that time for the essentials, time to get on with the things that he can do. So it opens up the possibilities to achieve more and allow you just that flexibility of production and increased sort of yield.
Which is the best thing for any kitchen. Obviously, you just want to put it away and not worry about it, not having to come back and constantly check over and over and over again. And just that worry, taking away that worry is a big help. Obviously now I've loaded my sticky toffee pudding and off it go. I put 22 minutes, so it's cooking on 160 right now with, I believe, is that full moisture it's staying at the bottom?
That is 100% residual moisture. So again, this is one of our intelligent cooking controls. So this is going to go through a variety of different environments to give us the best product. So as we can see, first of all, it started off, it's actually cooled rather than a preheat because the unit was above temperature. So it's going to set that perfect starting place so we start at the same place every time. Then it's asked us to load, and then it's gone into this first bake setting. So 160 degrees with all the moisture that comes off this product held in. Of course, if we have more products in here that create more moisture, and what the Rational Self-Cooking Centre will do is it will make moderations to counter that. When we press the little eye, we can see it's done the low quantity recognition, and it's worked out that there's not too much in here, so it's not had to add time on or change the temperature to compensate for the low quantity. What it's going to do after this, it's actually going to increase the temperature, but it's going to start to remove some of that moisture. So it's going to start working on getting us that nice crust on the top of it, before finally in the final stage it's going to move, it's going to drop the temperature again and take away up to 80%, so active dehumidification. So it's going to take away 80% of the moisture inside this cabinet to give us a really crisp finish on this product. So if we have more product in here using the same setting, it might take a little bit longer or it might use a different temperature, but it's going to give us the same cook. It gives us that standardisation of production.
So how many steps can these do up to? Obviously that's about 5 steps there, so how many?
You could build a manual program up to 12 steps. Not every process or program will need that many, so like the overnight we looked at the beginning, I think was 6 steps, and it changes through. So it really depends on the product you're cooking and what it requires. Everything's slightly different, so it's about getting that right environment. As we were saying about saving things, so again, we can come in here and we can come back to our main screen. There's a little note with a pen, and saving programs are very simple. All you need to do is simply select this, and then we can name it. So, being a typical chef, I'll abbreviate this one and just call it STP for Sticky Toffee Pudding.
Obviously.
Then we can press a little tick and that's saved in there. And then once Will's finished this, what we can do is we can come back and we can have a look at where those programs are stored and built. But it really means that every time you do something, if you're happy with the result, you can save it so it's the same next time. So we can load the unit, shut the door, and then carry on with our preparation, our next job. We've not got to keep coming back.
Sounds great. How are we doing over here? How's the gravy looking, Chris?
Gravy's just simmering away. I'm going to skim a little bit of fat off the top. I've got my soup ready to plate. I'm just giving this a quick clean to get my Brussels sprouts in.
So obviously we're going to be about 90 minutes. Have we got any comments out there? Any
questions?
Any questions? Or even just joining the banter, you know? Talk about Christopher's... Christopher, again, I can't help it now.
Please stop calling me Christopher.
Sorry, Chef. And talk about Chef's festive spatula. You know, do you have festives? What traditions do you guys do out there in the kitchens? Because obviously, when you're a chef, you practically, that's your family over Christmas.
Yeah, it is. It's a shame to say that.
It's your family over Christmas.
I think
you spend more time with your fellow chefs than you do at home with your family. Yeah. You know, so that's your Christmas family. Don't you find that?
I think that's an important thing.
It is. You spend a lot of time. I think the one big Christmas memory I'll always have would be the 12 days of Christmas. My head chef, Chris Holland, religiously used to just put 12 days of Christmas on, and everyone would be assigned a line. You'd be in trouble if you didn't sing your line when the appropriate time was, and having repeated it about 8 times just in the morning. Everyone sort of gets into the spirit, but it's a very busy time of year, and it's how that we sort of manage all that extra work, and we make sure that we can take the opportunities to cook for as many customers and get you the profit and those customers back. The consistency of producing the same thing. So if someone comes for a turkey dinner at the beginning and it's really, really good, it's going to be exactly the same as we get towards the end of the season. And this is really how the Rational systems work, and this is sort of the kitchen of tomorrow, today. And we look at sort of how we're going to standardise this, and you know, there is always the opportunity, again, through the Rational app, so Connected Cooking, you can go and have a look and get the invitation to demonstrations, or you can speak with yourselves. I'm sure you can invite directly to the events and let your customers know exactly when they can come. But come and see, come and try it.
Yeah, oh, definitely, definitely.
Will and Chris, you might be able to drag them out for another cooking event if they're happy with it at the end of today.
Well, you've got a comment. Comment if you want us to come back and we might cook something else. I don't know.
Or what you'd like to see them cook.
Yeah. Challenges. You know, we like a good challenge, don't we?
It's the first time I've cooked with it. I think I'm managing.
Yeah.
But next time I'd love to maybe try some more intricate recipes.
Yeah. Well, there's many other options that this Vario can do. You can do steaks, can't you? And it has like 6 different cooking zones, so it even controls which steak has done what. You can. There's loads of stuff.
So
what else have we got?
Multi-efficiency. The whole idea behind the Vario Cooking Centre and being a multi-efficiency pan is that it replaces multiple pieces of equipment. So it's additional sous vide space, it's additional frying space, it's a shallow frying pan, it's a deep fryer, it's a brat pan if it needs. It can do stocks, it can do sauces. You can get pressure as an option. So we can talk about, and this isn't a pressure unit, but you can get them. You're looking at something like lamb hot pots in sort of 40 to 45 minutes. You literally just simply put the probe in, and it uses the Vario cooking control to work out exactly what needs to happen. So it could be pie mixes. It's just managing that production, standardising it. You choose your ceiling. When you're happy with it, it progresses through. As you've seen with Chris today, he's doing very well for his first time. Very brave, having his first time live. But it's pressing the buttons. All the manuals are built into both the SCC and the VCC. So you could just push the question mark and all that information's built in there. Again, as they both gentlemen rightly pointed out, there is chef lines. So on the front of the SCC unit, there's a little number and an email address at the top. You can always contact us directly. That's for the entire life of the unit, and it's the same with the Vario Cooking Centre. And if you can't find these numbers, if you press into the settings and go right down to the very bottom, they're also built into the units in there. So I believe we're coming in with the camera. I can show you where they are.
Incoming.
Scoot round, 3 chefs in a corner. So we just press the little unit down here. We can come right down to the very bottom. We've got the chef line. So if you do have issues or questions or things you want to know more about, you can just call us and talk to us and get more information. So we come back.
It's like what I've used you for today, but it'd be on the phone.
Yeah, it's just a 24/7 access to me and us at Rational, giving you that information. But as I said, there are apps, there's videos, there's YouTube, there's a huge wealth of support and knowledge to sort of find out, as well as great things like this, which is really nice. And you've always got the option of sort of writing an email, send it in, questions, and little pop things. So
yeah, it's good to be involved. While the guys were chatting, I've just finished up my soup, so I've got my spiced squash, I've blitzed it down, finished up with a little butter for a bit of emulsification. I'm probably a little bit shaky on camera because I'm not very good at being live, so I'm going to do the double-handed ladle transfer. So we're just going to control my shakes there. I'm infamous in kitchens for shaking everywhere, plating up in front of chefs, shaking, but...
So your withdrawal, is it, from the kitchen?
No, I think I've just got a natural shake.
Just a natural shake?
I think I'm one of those hyper chefs that you kind of need to buzz around, and I kind of always manage to pull through at the end. So I've got my soup.
So we should turn that round and we can
Garnish it up a little bit.
a bit of presentation out.
So it's never want to put out a plain bowl of soup, so we've got some garlic herb croutons that I'm just going to place on the top. This is a bit cheeky. I brought this from home. I actually got this salt from Ireland. It's natural sea salt, but it's infused with Irish moss. So
nice.
I brought that in well.
Oof. Nice and fancy.
And just season it up a little bit. And finally, just a little bit of cream.
But as we were talking about before, you could do a variety of different sort of toppings to put onto this. So it could have been that you used the self-cooking centre to toast up some seeds.
Yeah.
You can dehydrate in there as well, so we could have done some little sort of squash wafers that we dried out.
There's a lot, I think a lot in kitchens now is soup's more of a dish rather than just something you chuck on as well. So a lot you build up the soup in the bowl, so we could have had some little butternut cubes that have been sautéed down, a couple of textures, and then you dress the soup around and build the soup up so it's more of a dish instead of just a bowl that you fire out. That's a spiced winter soup, garlic croutons, bit of cream, bit of spice, lovely. Up beside my starters, we're good, well.
So we've got 2 starters down, and my main, all it's missing now is the gravy and your Brussels sprouts.
And you're going to help me. I'm going to start.
I'm good. Oh no.
Yeah, this
here we go.
is chefs
Okay,
help each
okay,
other.
come on in, come on
Chefs
in,
help
come
each
on
other. You're going to skim
Skim?
a little bit of fat off of the top of there.
Skimming.
I've got your thickening agent down there ready.
Thickening
Bring it up to the
agent,
boil and
nice.
whisking the thickening agent. In the left-hand side, I am going to do almost similar to before with the mushrooms, but I've got chiffonade Brussels sprouts that have been shredded down this morning. I've got some shallots sliced, some crushed almonds, and I've got some sliced bacon. Personally, I like Brussels sprouts. I'm a big fan. What about you, Will?
Well, it all depends how they're cooked. I always find that a lot of places, they always overcook Brussels sprouts.
Steamed?
Yeah.
Steamed into mashed Brussels sprouts.
It's just mush. You know, you don't need to. It's just this whole wives' tale that you absolutely have to cook them until they're just mush, and it just loses all the flavour.
Agreed.
So we're going to do a nice tasty flavour here with the bacon and...
I'm going to get a nice saute going and get as much flavour as I possibly can into these Brussels sprouts.
Trying to skim this the best I can here.
I'm using the braising stew function like I did for the mushrooms before because I know it's going to give me a nice sear. Then I can incorporate a little bit of liquid just to soften it up, and then I can go straight into the plate. Well, so this is heating up for me as per before. On the Rational recommended settings, just give myself 10 minutes, and then I'll be starting to rock and roll. Well,
now one of the best things I find with like this Vario cooking centre or the Rational is, and it's a big key thing for any restaurant, is consistency. Because obviously you want the same flavour, the same product every time that customer comes back. Because you can go to restaurants and you get somebody turning around and say, who's cooking today? And it is the worst feeling, because obviously you want that consistency, you want a good quality product every time that customer arrives. And then you got a happy customer, and customers that always come back because obviously they know it's going to be good quality. So I'm just adding a thickening into this, do I? Do I need to heat it back up?
I've got it all bowled up underneath, ready to go, Will. I'm going in with...
You're going in?
Bacon and onions, because I want my
Dive right in there,
bacon
Chris.
fat. Yeah.
Dive right in there.
Dive right in, chef.
Where's my whisk? You haven't given me a
And
crisp
a
with.
couple of cubes of the good stuff.
Just want to double check on my sticky toffee pudding. So obviously now it's on that last stage where it's taking all that moisture out and it's only leaving about 20%. If you have a look, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it through the camera, you can see that it's starting to put a bit on the colour on the top there. So it's going to give that nice crust on the top that you always like, and then a nice fluffy sponge down the middle. There we go. So we are going to cheat it a bit today, and we're just putting a thickening agent in, and I'm just whisking as we put it in.
You might want to bring the temperature up a little bit as well.
So if I go to the right side, what, it's about 96?
Yeah.
Yeah, 96 is there. So obviously we're only doing quite a thin, well, not a lot of gravy, not thin gravy, not a lot of gravy, but obviously you can see how much you can fill this up. Is this 14 litres? Is this what the 14 means? So you can fill up to 14 litres here. So that, obviously that can be a lot of gravy. Look at it go now, look at it go. Obviously this is happening quite quick because obviously we ain't got much in here. Only got about a litre. And I think I might be done with the gravy here.
I'm almost done for you, Will. I'll just switch over to my side quickly. It's asking me if I'm fully seared. I'm not. I've got everything in there. I want a little bit of colour. I want to get the nuttiness out. I want to get the sweetness of the onions. I want to get the saltiness of the bacon. So I'm going to give this a good fry. And I'm going to slowly start incorporating my...
So I'm going to want to turn my gravy down, obviously otherwise it's going to boil dry. So I've turned my gravy down and I've popped it back over to you for you to do whatever you want there.
I'm almost done.
Look at that.
Fully seared. I don't want any more colour on that. I don't really want any liquid, but what I'm going to do is add a little knob of butter.
So after every step, all we do is just hit that tick and it starts the next step.
Yes, so you're just communicating through to it that you're happy and that you've been through that stage and part of the process. So it's up to you to set the pace. If you want more colour or you're doing a larger batch and you want to do it seal it in a few batches, you've got that ability to sort of control it. You're still very much in control of the process. It's just going to look after all the temperatures and then cook out the time that you've asked it to.
Right, I'm almost good to go. Well, you can get your start.
Well, I think what I'll do is if I lift mine up,
I did have a very nice glass jug for you to count the gravy into, and you've used it for your prep.
Well, if I just lift it up like that, and we can get it all down to the edge there, then I can just ladle straight out from there, can't I? Look at that. So then obviously this can hold the temperature of my gravy or whatever, soup, stock or stew, and that can hold the temperature and keep it, and then I can serve straight from there onto my plate or bowl or whatever.
And we're
nice
good
and
to
easy.
go.
And we're good to go. And then obviously I can just keep tilting that to help scoop it out. So are we ready to finish
Get
this
your
main
plate
menu?
ready, chef. All sorts of Christmas goodness coming right at you.
Okay, so let's get a bit of Brussels sprouts on there. Do we want some? I got some tongs here, or
Tongs will do.
tongs will do it. So if you put us a bit of, I'll switch to this side for the camera person. So
Where do you want it, chef?
this is for this dish, the main dish.
Where on the plate, chef?
Oh, it's a Christmas dinner. You just pile it up, don't
Getting
you?
in
Come
there.
on, come on.
No,
It's
all
Christmas
zones.
dinner.
You've got to zone it up. Look at that.
No, not in our house. You just pile it up as much as you can. Oh, look at that. And then obviously let's get a bit of gravy on there. over the Yorkshire pudding. Oh, I can get a lot more on there. Over the Yorkshire pudding,
Oh.
over our turkey, and look, it sits nicely in there.
I'm quite proud at this stage.
There we are. So there's our veggies, our turkey, and our Yorkshire pudding, and that's so. There's starters and mains.
I love it, the finish.
Have you
I'm
left me
sorry,
a
Will, but
plate?
I have to do this because it really creeps me out if we don't.
By all means, chef. You know, you got to present it well. Have we got a spare plate for my sticky toffee pudding?
We do, or we did, and I've just used it, Will, and I will wash it for you straight away.
Thank you, chef. So obviously I've only got about 5 minutes left, and it looks like it's coming absolutely great. Is this still searing, or is this turned off now, Chris?
I believe I've turned off the left side.
Yep.
So left side's turned off. So then I can once I finish with it, I can
And then
drop
I
it
think
back
you're
down.
going to clean them both down off camera after the live stream, I think.
Yeah, we'll clean them down after the live stream,
And
obviously.
me and Tom are going to go for coffee, I think that's what's going
Oh,
on.
thanks. Yes, chef. Whatever you say, chef. You can see he misses being in charge.
Now, it feels so good to kind of be back in the kitchen and cooking and active. I'm passionate about chefing, and I came out of chefing because of personal circumstances. I put a lot of dedication into it. I speak to people now every day about cooking equipment, about Rational. I'm just kind of trying to show that I'm still passionate about food. I'm passionate about working with chefs. Chefs can call me if they have any questions, but I'm trying to cook. This is the first time I've cooked on it. I cook on it.
Honestly, the first time.
I'm kind of trying to take it all from a chef's perspective and show how easy it actually is to cook with. But I can always speak to you about your power in your kitchen. Rational service partners coming out to do a site survey to see if you can get one in, getting cook demos sorted, talking about your menu. You can give me a call at any time. Anytime, Will.
Obviously, we have had Tom helping us today, but Rational is there to help you.
And
You know? Well, and us, yeah, of course, help us, but they're there to help you. Just like Tom is here helping us, they can easily come and help you guys with any menu or any issue or absolutely anything. They're a great company to work with. We've got Gold Dealership as well.
Gold dealership.
So, you know, we do work alongside with Rational very hard, and we do our best, don't we?
I think we've done very well.
Obviously, we have Chris and all our salespeople upstairs that will try and help you at the best quality as you can. And there's Rational service partners out there with, what's the warranty usually? Is it?
So you get a 2-year warranty.
2-year warranty on both of these equipments, is it?
I'd have to just check on that.
We'll have to check on that. Oh, we stumped him with a question. We stumped him, but we'll bring it back to you. So obviously the Rational is 2 years, and they have dedicated services out there for just Rational, and they'll have parts, and your fixed rate it's pretty high at first time fixed rate.
Yeah, it's high into the 90s. Because our service partners, not only do we train them quite high, but they have to carry a huge amount of spares. So the first time fixed rate, they've normally got the parts that they require for the fix. You can as well get extended warranties with that. So they'll look after it, and you just sign a contract, and they'll come in and service your equipment and look after it and everything that goes forwards. As it structures itself going through.
Can the service partner look into the machine and possibly sometimes look at what the fault may be before even being on site?
Yes,
I think I've heard that before.
Another benefit with connected cooking is that you can assign your service partner access to CE units. So if something was to go wrong with it, it will send the service partner an email and tell them. So before they've even come to site, they can know what it is, which again just helps us increase that first time fix rate. But again, it gets you up and running faster. You know, rather than you having to come in and find out that there's a problem with the unit.
And then get a part and order the part in.
It's already sorted, it's stocked, it's held, and they're already there asking you when can they come and just do that repair, which just helps keep everything sort of flowing through service-wise.
Yeah. Will, you're hiding. Are we going with sticky toffee pudding?
I'm just cleaning my spatula.
Are we good to go? Do you need to do anything, Chef?
Have we got a clean knife?
I have many clean knives.
I'd like a clean knife, please, Chef.
Have you got a nice whiteboard, Chef?
Well, the good thing about this tray is we don't need a whiteboard. I can cut it straight in there and it won't scratch it. Is that right, Tom? So I can cut it straight in there, pop it up in the tray and put it straight onto my plate.
I'll trust you with this knife that I've worked with for the last 5 years.
So can I blunt it? Can I blunt it?
And
it's flashing away.
I take it home and I've got a nice knife block that it sits in, and I'll trust you with it this one time, I think. You have to treat it with respect.
Now,
are we good to go?
I always like cakes, and I was always told,
give it a wobble.
You give it a wobble.
You're going to get a knife in there.
Let's get a knife in there. Let's get a knife in there. I do like listening to it though. I was always called a cake whisperer.
You're cakey.
I'm a cake whisperer.
You're cakey, Will. I'm going to give it the 10 seconds.
Moment of truth. So I haven't cooked this recipe for a while now.
Clean knife on that top.
Whoa! All right. Yeah. Jeez. Whew. Chris.
Chef, you're supposed to have hands of
Hot stuff.
best off.
Hey, like you said, we've been out of there for.
I think you're good.
I've always been sensitive skin. So obviously, I'm going to grab this knife, and like we said, obviously, usually chefs go, no, don't do it. You're scratching the pan, but I'm just going for it.
You're going to look after that knife.
Just straight down there.
Oh,
I'm making a mess. But
you've done backwards and forwards action, Will. I'll cut the cake on the next live stream. I'm going to add that part in.
All right. But I'm just showing that, you know, it doesn't scratch it.
I love it.
You know? So obviously I'll put that back over there. Let's take...
You also, another benefit with the granite enamel there, I see you getting every portion out. So you're not losing it in the sides.
Corner to corner.
It's corner to corner. So again, increasing that production, reducing that wastage. And it's just looking at everything from that ergonomic side.
And I've got a bit of... Where's my butcher... Oh, you got it there. So a bit of butterscotch sauce. Just to drizzle over it.
Oh, you need to get more on there, Chef.
Okay, that. Obviously, I would put this with ice cream, but somebody mentioned the other day about custard. I wouldn't put custard with it. I always go with ice cream with sticky toffee pudding.
Where I come from, if you put custard on a sticky toffee pudding, it is literally a crime.
Yes. So there we go. There is the CaterKwik menu of our Christmas dinner. So we've got garlic mushrooms on a toasted brioche.
Creamy goodness.
With creamy goodness.
Spiced squash soup, got some sweet potatoes, sweet red bell pepper, spiced out with like wintry spices. You've got clove and nutmeg in there with some chili, just to give it a bit of heat. Garlic herb croutons and finish with cream.
Christmas dinner, obviously turkey, Yorkshire pudding, stuffing. We've got our honey roasted carrots with parsnips, roast potatoes, broccoli with bacon, almonds,
garlic, parsley. Put quite a little bit of salt in there just to season it up, because I like Brussels sprouts with a lot of flavours, nothing less than bland Brussels sprouts.
And then obviously finishing off with our sticky.
I think you've done very well
pudding.
to bake a sticky toffee pudding during a live stream.
There you go.
And I didn't see a recipe for that cake this morning.
No, I just banged it together from the top of my head, you know, Jamie Oliver style.
Well
you know, oh, that'll do.
I think we should have a hug after this live stream, I believe.
Well, I think we need to dig into this and give this a try. So we'll catch you all later. So obviously keep commenting. If you have any questions, please give us a call. Let us know. Any questions for Rational as well, we can put you easily in contact with them. You know, this does help with Christmas so much. Christmas parties, I used to cook 500 people, and something like a Rational does save so much time and so much hassle.
I think me and you, we didn't rehearse this dinner. It's the first time we've cooked any of this. First time I've cooked in the Vario. I've not even been in an SEC for 2 years.
Yep, same here.
But if you get one, your menu's going to be created already. Your team of chefs are already going to know what they're doing. They're going to know how to operate all of this equipment to the most of its potential with Rational's help. So when you actually approach this time of year, if you buy one this year, by the time you're hitting Christmas next year, everyone's going to know exactly what they're doing. Every chef on his station's going to know what prep goes in, and you'll find that it's just going to go like clockwork. And it's just going to take everything for your Christmas menu all the way down. More time at home, more money in the bank.
We would like to thank Tom, obviously, for coming down and helping us present, obviously, this Rational products, the Vario Cooking Centre and Self-Cooking Centre, and obviously filling in with the questions that, obviously, we don't always know, but we always can find out from our Rational fans. And obviously, thank you for you guys for watching.
For putting up with us. Putting up with Will.
Oh, thanks, Chris. I think Deck and Holly Willoughby needs to stand aside. I think we could take over the industry, don't you think?
if I'm deck, then I can definitely move forward with that.
I'm the
yeah.
short one here, so I have to be deck.
Yeah, but you can put on high
You got the
heels and a
luscious
wig.
hair.
If anyone needs a wig, it's Will. It's not me.
Obviously, if you do want to ever see us again, message and let us know. Okay, thanks guys. Let's wave
Thank you very
goodbye.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.